Excellent. Okay. All right, folks. Nice to see you. This is the October 14th remote meeting, 14th, 2021 remote meeting of the Lakeville Cable Advisory Committee. In accordance with the governor's order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, General Law, Chapter 30A, subsection 20, relating to the 2020 novel coronavirus outbreak emergency, the October 14, 2021 public meeting of the Cable Advisory Committee shall be physically closed to the public to avoid group congregation. However, to view this meeting in progress, please go to facebook.com/LakeCAM. You do not need a Facebook account to view the meeting. This meeting will be recorded and available to be viewed at a later date at http://www.lakecam.tv/. Okay. Next piece of verbiage. As a preliminary matter, this is Bob Marshall, Chairman of the Lakeville Cable Advisory Committee, and permit me to confirm that all members, staff, and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Tom Sergnano?
I'm here.
Walter Healy?
Yes.
Fred Beals will not be with us. Jose Invencio is our executive director of LakeCAM. He's not a member of the board, but an invaluable member of our group here as we try to work our way through the Comcast renewal. And shortly, we'll be joined by Bill August, who is our cable attorney. And since we don't need him for the first item of business, I've asked him to join us a little earlier. Okay, the first item on the agenda is to approve the minutes of our August 25th, 2021 meeting. We've had the draft for some time, and would anyone make a motion to approve just so that we can discuss it?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, and Walter, you are taking notes for today, right?
Yes, so back to the original.
To the original, got it. Okay, so we have a motion to approve and to second. Do we have any questions about the minutes at all? All right, hearing none. We have a motion, a second. We'll take a roll call vote. Walter, how
Yes.
do you vote?
Yes.
All right, Tom, how do you vote?
Yes.
Bob votes yes, and Fred is not here. Okay, so the minutes rather for August 25th of this year have been approved. Well, now I'm going to call Bill because that didn't take long at all. Hang on just a second while I give him a call. Okay, Bill indicates that he will be able to join us in about 4 minutes, which actually we can skip ahead to the last item on the agenda if we have time for. Just give you a little back and forth about the Verizon conduit activity down at LeBaron. It's been a long process, far longer than it should have been, but bottom line was there was some construction work with the conduits down at LeBaron that was ultimately done incorrectly. And Verizon had said so from the beginning, and the developer indicated that was not the case and that there was another workaround to come in from different directions. Verizon said it's not going to work from coming in from that direction. That would be precinct Fern Ave coming in the back way, so to speak, because their conduits and wiring at that location would not handle wires coming in from that direction. So what was originally constructed incorrectly had to be dug up and corrected. And I got, I think it was yesterday, I got a notice, an email or text, I guess it was, from the project manager saying that everything had been done. I contacted Verizon. They said that they were going to put a ticket in for the job, and they anticipated that early in November, they hope to begin the project. And I sort of confirmed that this morning. We don't have a specific date, but the project manager, Mike OJ, is pleased that it's going to be going forward. And I'm sure once the conduit is in and all of the equipment is in, I think the people at LeBaron will be pleased as well, because now they'll have an option, as the rest of the town does, in order to choose between Comcast and Verizon. So that's kind of the upshot of where we are at present. Okay, well, we're still waiting for Bill. I toyed with making it less than 15 minutes. You never know what you're gonna get involved in. So I left it out. Okay. I guess what I'll do the moment here.
Yeah, is there anything we can cover while we're waiting?
Well, I think so. If you take a look at the my updated list of unresolved issues, the first item is once we have a properly paginated and agreed upon license, I would like us to get a table of contents. I've actually started working on it a little bit, but I guess I'd like to know what you think about asking Comcast to do that. I think Bill will be able to advise us as to whether that's something that Comcast normally does.
My personal feelings on it are that it's really not necessary, because it's easy to find what you're looking for by the headings on the different sections. And it's not.
Well, I'm glad you find it so, because when I'm looking for something, I don't find it that way. And I know the Verizon license has one, and I find that a little easier to move around in.
Well, if they would do it, without delaying
Yeah.
this process.
I'm getting called. I'm getting a call. It's probably from Bill.
Okay.
he couldn't find the link, couldn't find the email from Jose that you sent, what, a week or two ago?
I
He
prepared an
says,
email.
no, he says he's got it now,
Okay,
so.
knew I should have sent it.
Here he comes.
Okay.
All right, Bill, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay,
Maybe that'll-
All right.
we've approved our minutes and we're ready to move on.
Okay.
So I'm going to share this screen. You've seen it, Bill. We just briefly spoke about table of contents.
Right.
It's something that I would like to see in this license, although Tom says that he doesn't really need it. Is that something that Comcast commonly does?
It does it most of the time, but not all of the time.
Okay, would it be inappropriate or appropriate for us to ask Mike if Comcast can do that?
It would be appropriate.
Okay. Tom, do you have a strong objection?
No, I don't have a strong objection, but I mean, maybe we could provide them with a template like the one that Verizon uses, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I had already started working on, Tom. And if that's okay with you, I mean, yeah, I'd like to approve the whole license as one. So I'll work on it, send it to Mike, see what he thinks. And when we talk to Mike next, we'll ask him if that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just, my point was, I don't think it's that important of an issue to drag out the negotiations more. I don't know how Walter feels.
Yeah. Walter, what do you think?
I concur with Tom.
Okay,
If it's an
Then we-
easy fix,
all right, then I won't go down that road.
Well, you can go down that road as long as he'll agree to it quickly.
Yeah, I don't think there'll be an objection, especially if I'm gonna give him an outline,
Right.
but,
Yeah, that's fine. It's just a matter that it doesn't delay. what we're
oh,
doing.
yeah, if he says no, that's something they can't do. End of issue as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
You know
because-
what? You could, does the old license have a table of contents?
It does not.
Does not, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you could copy it from that or something.
Yeah, no, it's, and there are some sections that have been eliminated, as you know, and
Right, I know.
new ones
but-
and so forth. Okay.
All right.
All right, the next item on my list here is number 2. There are some notes on the front page of the last edits from Bill that he has removed, which no longer apply because of decisions we've made, agreements, et cetera, et cetera. So number 2 has been done. Does anyone have any questions on that? Okay, next item, number 3, section 4.12, cable system maps. The language in that says that they'll be retained at the licensee's, Comcast, primary place of business. My question is, why can't we have a copy at the selectman's office? And I wrote a note that said Bill has done this, meaning Bill was working on some language that would fit in here. And Bill, do you want to talk about that? By the way,
yeah.
hold on a second. Bill and Walter, I'm seeing
Yeah.
the top of your head. Is it possible to see, can you pull your computer talk.
yeah.
There you go. That's good for you, Bill.
Yeah, I was looking at the document, so I wasn't watching the thing.
I have to do, sit a certain.
All right, if it has to stay there, that's fine, Walter. Okay, Bill, what do you have for language here?
Why can't I see who's on here? Okay,
You have it
yeah.
on the right-hand side? Do you have it?
Do I have what?
Can you see us?
I see one face at a time now. It doesn't matter. I'm okay. I can hear you. Don't worry.
All right. What do you have for language for item number 3, section
Okay.
4.12?
It's in the document you sent to the committee yesterday.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, then
at
let's let's put that
4.12.
up. Hang on.
Does you guys have the document?
I'm gonna
The
put it up.
license?
I'm gonna put it up. What was that, 4.12, was it?
Yeah, if you put it up on, that'll help my viewing here.
Yeah, I'm putting it up and I'm trying to find it now.
Now I see everybody.
Okay,
Went to full screen.
all right. All right,
Hi, Hey, everybody, how you all doing?
all right, I'm going to read it out loud, Walter, so if you want to follow along. Licensee shall maintain a complete set of strand maps of the town, which will show those areas in which its facilities exist. The strand maps will be retained at licensee's primary place of business and will be available to the issuing authority for inspection by the issuing authority upon written request. Now, Bill has put in red here, he calls it a town edit, that we add, upon written request of the issuing authority, licensee shall provide a copy of such strand map or maps to the town not more than once annually. Now, in my opinion, that is a small ask. And Bill, is this something that is available in other towns, in other Comcast licenses?
It has been in the past, Bob. I don't know what's been going on with this issue in the last year or so, other than they're getting more worried about Verizon looking at their maps and the more competitive landscape, other companies looking at their maps. So they don't like to give them out, but whether they're including it in licenses right now, 2021 elsewhere, I don't know as a fact.
All right.
But it's a very reasonable request. Over the years, they used to agree to this. I just don't know where they are on it now. It won't faze them to ask for it. We should just not spend a lot of time on it. We'll ask for it and let's see what happens.
Okay.
You should be able to have a.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, it's a good issue, Bob. I mean, I think this is a reasonable issue. It's not like just nitpicking. You want to have a copy of where they are in the streets.
Right.
Assuming that it's a kind of map that could give you some useful information, and I don't even know if that's true, but
Well,
assuming
that's
it is.
true. Should we write some language in here that, makes it something so that a layperson such as myself or any other member or citizen could understand?
In terms of what's in the maps?
Yes.
No, I mean, they have their system of mapping. It's just a question of whether they'll give it to us or not.
Okay.
There's other language in the license that they have to, provide us information as needed to determine compliance with the license. So if we get this, that we, supposed to get a strand map combined with the general language about they're having to give us information to show compliance, we should be okay.
All right.
Why would this be useful to us?
Well, I won't say that it happens often, but it's not rare for someone in town to call and say, I have no cable option, or I don't have an option for this company or that company. And then we would need to see where that cable company, Comcast in this case, says their lines are strung and options exist. I've had people call, it's been some time, but I've had people call and ask, how come I can't get such and such? And it would be helpful to have a map.
Yeah, so now we
Right.
just call and ask, you know, and they tell us whether they have a line there or not.
Well,
I mean, they are letting us inspect them. So, I mean, you could get the information they're saying you can come and look at it. The only thing so you can still get the information the way it's written. We're just not getting copies.
let's put it this way, guys. Let's say someone does make such a request, or we have reason to need to know the information. I don't think it's something that we as a committee or even the Board of Selectmen should have to jump through another hoop to get this information when in this day and age it's so readily available. Because I don't want to have to go there to wherever their place of business is. Would it be Boston? Would it be Philadelphia? I mean, God only knows where it's going to be.
Another question is it available on the internet?
On
Let
the
me
internet?
point you to, look at section 13.1, Bob,
13.1, one moment, please.
because this covers it to some extent.
Whoops.
Like if you wanted to find out
Yeah.
what streets, if they were meeting their service area obligations.
Okay, hang on. 13 point what?
1,
Upon written request issuing authority, licensee shall promptly submit to the town any information in such form and containing such information as may be reasonably requested by the issuing authority, which may be reasonably required to establish the licensee's compliance with its obligation pursuant to the renewal license.
right, now that's a nice clause in that when we have questions like you're asking, are they on this street or that street? That, you know, you could take the position, that's necessary to have them answer it to find out to what extent they're in compliance. So 13.1 can come in handy on some of the information you're thinking about
My
regarding maps.
question about that, Bill, is this.
Yeah.
In my not so broad experience with legal matters, it's been my experience that a judge or arbitrator or whomever is making the decision, when they have vague general language versus specific language, and by specific, I'm talking about the map section, they always decide using the specific language.
I
And
agree.
That's why I'm concerned that 13.1A may not be sufficient.
I agree. Let's move on because I have to get off at 2, so I want to make sure we get there. But because, and also on this issue, what you're asking for is reasonable. You want copies of maps. Let's see what he says.
Very good. All right, next item, number 4, section 6.5, A, E, D, and F. There is a reference to section 6.9, which needs to be changed. Bill has taken that out. And then there are notes at the bottom of 6.5 that needed to be removed. And Bill, I can't recall whether you removed them or not.
I did
you?
not. Let's just leave them in there now. Because they should be removed eventually, and they will be, but it will help us with our argument for something else. You know, on the relocation language,
Yeah,
I said that if we request a relocation, they agreed that they'll do it if we paid for it. I changed that language to say if we request a relocation or an additional location,
right.
and that text helps support our argument that it should cover not just relocation, but additional location.
This text here that I've highlighted?
Yeah,
Bill?
yeah.
All right.
I just realized that, when I was working on the additional
All right,
location.
so on my update list, what should I write about these notes, that we should leave them in?
You can say, just leave them for now, but they should be removed as we finalize this.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Tom.
When you say Bill has done this and Bill has removed this or whatever, has Mike at Comcast gotten a copy of?
No,
No,
This
no.
is just for our copy, so it really hasn't.
Exactly.
accomplished anything. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Because as what we've said from the beginning, Tom, was that we as a committee need to come up with our recommendation to the selectmen. So I wouldn't want to send anything that Bill had. He is suggesting these changes and so on and so forth. He and I have met and he's suggested this, that, and the other. And that's why I've asked him to come here.
all right, let's go on to the next one, because this will take care of itself, this one. It's just a comment.
Bill, okay, give me a break.
All right,
Hang on a second.
I just want to make sure we cover the actual license language before 2.
Okay. So we're on number 5, section 7.2. The effective date is January 23rd, but what's his name? Mike has thrown in there to change it to February 1st. Hang on a second, I gotta find it.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't say he's changing the effective date of the license. He's saying he's changing the effective date of the payments.
Right, but we could lose a week's worth of funding.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't lose a whole week. He would pay their way their practice is they continue the old payments until the new payments come in. So we would get the old payments at, what are you, 4.25%?
4%.
4%? Okay.
Yeah,
And then the new on February 1st. So you'd look, but you're absolutely right to pick up that, Bob. It was a great catch. And we should ask him to confirm that if he wants to kick in the 4.75% on February 1st, we need a written commitment, not just past practice. We just need him to confirm in writing and an email that he will keep, we're not going to lose a week. He'll keep paying the old payments till February 1st. That's a great
well,
point, Mike.
yeah, but the old payments, I want the new payments. Because we'd be, if we say no to February 1st, then the new payment kicks in January 23rd.
Right.
And
I
I
mean,
don't,
you could go either way. You could say, no, we reject the new payments start on February 1st. He wants to do it at the beginning of the month, and we just want to keep it on January 23rd. That's
Tom,
one
Walter,
approach.
Tom, Walter,
Or
what
we
do you
can
think?
say you can start the new on February 1st.
Okay, got it, Bill. Got it.
Okay.
Tom,
It's up to
Walter,
well, I think they would just tack on that extra week on the final payment under the old agreement at the old rate, and that's not gonna hurt us that bad.
Bill, is that correct? That this would expire February 1 of 10 years from now, 32?
No. It
Why
would
not?
expire. The effective date of the license is still January 23rd. Look at section 2.4. What is it, 2.2 or 2? The effective date, 2.2. Says the effective date of the license is January 23rd and it expires January 22nd.
All right, then in my mind, we're losing a week's worth of 0.75 funding.
We'll have to clear this up with Mike when we talk to him.
Yeah,
All right, then you may want to check my comment in the margin because it might not reflect what you want.
all right, I'll read it out loud. Walter, here we go. Town would need written confirmation that if February 1, 2022 is the date, the 4.75 payment, then for the week between, 8 days between expiration and February 1, 2022, payments under the old license will at least be continued so that there's no gap in the compensation. And subject to the committee review, once info provided for our consideration. So what Bill
Right.
is saying basically is that this
Yeah, that
is
makes
this is a loophole that
Right.
has to be resolved.
Although, you know what, Tom's onto something interesting about the end of the license.
Yeah,
If Mike says, I want to start it at the beginning of the month, we
Should
can
end-
say, well, that's fine, but you can then say in the same clause, which new rate shall continue until how many days in January? 30 days
January.
has September,
January.
April. Yeah, we could add on, use that end of the week idea that Tom had to
right.
make him agree to keep the new rate. I mean, it would for an extra week, although it would continue on its own. Maybe that was Tom's point.
Yeah,
But we would lose a week of 0.75, which is not a lot of money.
Well, wait a minute. We're talking 0.75 about a goodly chunk of money. What's
Yeah, I mean, for 1 week,
it's only
Yeah.
for 1 week.
Jose? We're talking about $25,000 thereabouts, give or take.
20 to 30 for Comcast. is
Okay.
where it's going.
0.75 of 25 to 30 grand in our pocket, in my view, is better than theirs.
Wait. We're talking about the 0.75 is what, an extra 25,000
No.
divided by 52 weeks.
No, the quarterly payment bill.
Yeah.
They pay their funding in quarterly payments.
So you gotta
So-
do some math, and it's not gonna be a lot, it's not gonna be a large sum of money, 0.75% for 1 week of something that gets paid quarterly. It's
Right.
not gonna be a huge amount, and we're getting a better rate on the new license, so.
Right. What's the quarterly payment, Jose?
27 to 28,000.
Let's call it 28,000 for a quarter.
Divided
Okay.
by 12,
Divided
Wait a
by
minute. Oh, yeah, divided by 12 is what?
13 weeks. A quarter is
Is-
13 weeks.
Talking
Yeah,
about
it's
$750.
quarterly.
and then
That's
divide that
750. All right,
then
that's
multi-
at, that's
then
at
multiply that
4%.
point
Wait,
75.
so what's 1%? If 4% is 750 for a week, right? No.
No. Multiply that figure by 0.75. That's what you're gonna be losing.
What's the weekly payment again?
The quarterly
No, it was
payment.
28,000 for a quarter. So what's that divided by 12?
No, Bill, don't divide it by 12, because this is a quarterly payment.
Yeah, but we're only talking about 1 week, Bob.
Wait, divided by, you have to divide it by 12, Bob.
By 13. A quarter is 13.
Is it?
Oh,
Well, I thought you were dividing it by 12 months.
no,
13.
quarterly payment is $28,000 for 13 weeks.
Yeah, divide that. by-
Divided by 13,
Yep.
that's 2,153 a week. That's at 4%. So 4%, that's 4%. So 1% is a quarter of that, or 500, let me say 2,153 divided by 4. 1% is $538. And then 0.75% would be that divided by 75 times
Multiply it times
0.75. So we're losing about $403.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount of money,
Well-
Just to be clear, I don't think we're losing that money. And the reason why I think that is because even when contracts expire, they continue to pay the PEG fee. It's only, again, only the difference that we lose.
Right, about $400. It's not a lot of money.
Right.
Well, if you guys want to give it away, that's contrary to the way I run my household.
Well, it's running for that week under the old license rate. That's the only thing it's doing.
And as a result, we lose $400.
I know. How much is it costing us to
On
talk about
the
it?
other hand, it'll help us close this on time. You wouldn't believe how many licenses they're starting 3 months, 6 months later.
Hmm.
Anything we can do to, expedite this.
That's what
I-
I think.
It's your call. It's not a legal call, but I
Thank you.
wouldn't worry about it.
Hold on, Bill. Walter, what's your feeling?
I don't have a whole lot of, $400 doesn't mean a whole lot to me. In this case, the only other thing I could think about is that asking Mike to add on to 0.75 for the 8 days.
That's what I'm looking for.
Well, you can ask him and see if he says.
All right, that's, if it's okay with you, Tom.
My feeling is we're just extending the old license by 1 week.
Well,
And
if that's,
that's
Well-
basically what it comes to. So,
okay.
That's what I asked them to confirm. That's what my comment says.
Right.
If you want to
okay.
go with the
Bill,
February
Bill,
1st.
Okay, Bill,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, Tom, Walter, I will have a conversation with Mike about this and see what the intention is and what they're willing to do. If it's gonna hold things up a whole lot, then I probably would
All right.
agree with you.
Let
All
me
right.
know if you want me to change that comment, though.
I will. All right, item number
6.
on my notes. 7.2 CI.
Wait, we skipped one thing in 6.5 though. Well,
We did.
yeah,
Notes at the
That's
bottom of
it.
6.5, you mean
6.6.5. 6.5. It's in bold. I put it, they need a caption for 6.5, but also in 6.5D, I added a clarification.
okay, hang on. Six point five D.
Any,
Okay, town clarification to the right, and this is where I don't see that clarification, Bill.
it's right next to the parentheses.
Okay, the licensee shall purchase, install, and operate standard definition. Is that what it is?
No, to the left of that in bold.
Would you read it out loud to me, please, and start off where you're,
Do you have the words town clarification 10A21 to the right?
I do. Okay.
What's the word right
All
after
I
that?
was missing the closed parentheses.
Yeah.
Or by the access provider as determined by the issuing authority.
Right, because that was our intent all along. If they do this SD,
Right.
SDI and the HD, it's paid for, it shouldn't just say paid for by the town. It should say paid for by the town or access provider as determined by the issuing authority.
Right. Okay. So does everybody understand? And my apologies, gentlemen. I missed where that began or by the access provider. My apologies.
And the
Okay,
same thing in E, same thing in E.
That sounds
right.
good.
Oh,
You
no, E
guys
is a little
understand?
different. He's a little,
All right, E, town clarification. In the event of a relocation, in new words, or installation of an additional location. Those are the new words being added in case we relocate or add something new.
Because what
It's
if they
just-
say the new studio, since you're keeping the old one,
Right,
they knew all along that we asked for this clause for that reason. And in a way, that's an additional location rather than a relocation.
right. All right, Walter, Tom, how do you feel about that language?
I really don't understand the whole thing, so tell you the truth.
Okay,
But this one's, Tom, this one's very simple concept. If we, right now there, Comcast is operating video return lines from the library, from town hall, from a couple of places, right?
Yeah,
But what if we want to open up a new location, the Ted Williams camp? I want to do something at Ted Williams camp, or some other location. All this says is if we need to add a new location, they'll give us an estimate, and if we want to pay for it, we can.
Oh.
So I added the words, this should apply not just to a relocation, but to a new location. A new location is different than a relocation.
yeah, well, they shouldn't object to that.
right.
You would
That's,
hope.
that's, we feel that these are very reasonable issues. But I don't want to make assumptions until we run it by you.
Well, thank
We
you for
hope.
clarifying that, Bill. I appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. No problem.
All right, and then down a little further, we're changing 6.9 to 6.5. And then a town has a clarification bold to the right. Shall be the sole cost of the PEG access provider or town as determined by the issuing authority is the new language, which is in sync with what we decided at a previous meeting, that the issuing authority is making the decisions and so forth.
Okay.
Anyone have a concern, question?
No.
Okay. All right, that take care of 6.5, Bill?
Yes.
All right, we've done the next item, section 7.2.
Right.
So now we're on to my notes, number 6, section 9.2C.
Bob, I can't believe you caught that 6.9 should be 6.5.
Well, my eyes are practically crossed from
Oh my
reading
God.
over this thing.
My eyes are glazing over when I look at those citations.
Yeah.
You caught that. That's good.
All right, section
All right.
9.2C. They had said, and we're right here. Let me give you, all right, this section right here. Said bond shall be continuing obligation and thereafter until the licensee has satisfied all of its obligations to town, et cetera, et cetera. In the event that the town recovers from said surety, the licensee shall take immediate steps to reinstate the performance bond to the, and they had written in 50,000. Remember before the bond he wrote in mistakenly as a 50,000, and we got him to correct it up here. See this right here? We got him to correct that, but he forgot to correct it down here in
I don't,
the,
I can't honestly don't remember whether he just scoofed up in. I can't remember how it played out. I can't remember.
well, I do remember, we brought this up here in 9.2A to his attention because he had written in 50,000. And it was
All right.
supposed to be 100 under
All
the
right.
old license. And
Right.
then we got him to change that, but he wrote 50,000 in that it goes back to 50 when it should go back to 100.
Right. All right. I agree with you.
And
I agree.
that should be an easy ask.
You would hope. This is one of the higher performance bonds I've ever seen from them. But by
Well,
the
we had
way,
it-
look at the last sentence in C,
Yeah,
the end of C.
neither this section or any bond accepted pursuant thereto or any damages recovered under shall limit the liability of the licensee under the renewal license.
Right. I just want to make the point that whatever you don't get from a performance bond,
right?
it's not like they're not good. They have the money. If they can't cover it from the performance bond, they're still liable for the money.
Okay, that's a good point. I didn't know that.
Yeah, oh, and there are other places that say that even more strongly. There's
Okay.
language in this license that says all remedies are non-exclusive. And
Right.
so that, you can use performance bond, and then if it doesn't cover it, you can do plain old, requests for damages.
Yeah.
I'm just sometimes one is better than the other, but at least they're non-exclusive.
Okay, Tom, Walter, questions?
As long as all the figures match up, that's the main thing, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
you
the
want to be
point.
consistent, right?
That's right.
Any questions, Walter?
No,
Okay. Next item. Section.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
That was a good catch, Bob. Very good
Yeah.
catch.
I'm sorry, section 12.1.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
are you assuming that we're seeing the contract as your share?
Yes,
We're not.
you're not.
We're seeing.
Well,
the-
don't you have this contract?
Bill, hang on a second.
Yes.
Jose?
Yes, but if we're talking to the contract, we probably should show it.
I have it shared on my screen.
It's not shared on Zoom.
All we see is
Okay.
your list.
Your list is shared.
Okay,
So
But
go
that's
back.
all right. Let's
my
move on.
apologies, folks. Jose, can you
I can share it.
explain? Can you share it?
Yes.
My goodness.
Everybody see the contract?
Yep.
Yes, we
We're
need to
going
go
to-
to 12. Guys, I'm sorry. I thought you were seeing what I was seeing in my shared screen.
We're going to 12.4,
12.1,
1.
it's a small typo. Yeah, their numbering system here is different.
Okay, got it.
Well, it says that Bill already made that correction in what we're gonna
That's-
see in Comcast, right?
Right, but I want you guys to be aware of it.
oh, we already read it.
Okay. All right, so that, the word "in" was in there twice. He took it out, it's a typo.
Good, that's done.
Any questions?
No.
That's
Okay,
just, that's clerical.
yeah, good. Okay, Jose, can you get us down to Exhibit 7, please? All right, now this is very confusing once we get there because it's not listed. There we go. You're almost there.
Go to the first page of it first.
This is.
Down,
Exhibit
down a
7.
little bit more, Jose.
You're almost there. There, stop there, stop there. I just want to point out, this is a regulation. It's the law of the land. We can't change anything in it. It is what it is.
This whole exhibit is a regulation, Bill?
Yeah, it's not like a negotiable thing. This is
Okay.
the regulation itself of the FCC that gives us
All
a
right.
lot of good things. It ain't perfect, but it has a lot of nice things in it.
Okay, one other item that I want to bring up here. I think it, here in this Exhibit 7, it talks about the standard installation distance is within 125 feet. Elsewhere in the license, which is a better deal for the subscribers, it talks about you up to 200 feet. And Jose, this will mean something to you because you have that long driveway and there are many others in town got the same situation.
But it won't have any impact on us, Bob.
Okay, well, I just want,
Let me
I
just
don't want-
explain why. Let me explain.
let
Bob,
me
this
let
is
me
a-
finish, Bill.
Yeah, go
let me
ahead, go
finish.
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
I just want Mike Gala of Comcast to say, yes, the 200 feet, that's what it's been, that's what it's gonna be.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Bill.
Okay, so Bob, this is another pretty amazing catch because most people never even read this regulation. But it does say in the regulation that a standard installation is 125 feet.
Yeah,
Jose, can you scroll up to okay, so it says 125 feet, standard installation.
right.
Now scroll up to section, what is it?
4.1B.
4.1B?
Yeah,
Let's go to that. This is why it's a question and why it won't matter.
There,
But it's a
Keep
good question. It's a good question. There just happens to be an answer to it.
yeah, that's good. There we go.
there,
Full-
I just saw 200 feet somewhere a minute.
Yeah, 4 point, what?
Can you go down, Jose?
4.1.
I'm seeing 3.1. There
Oh,
we go.
There
There
you
we go.
go.
Oh, hold it.
See the
Yeah, see
paragraph
right there?
there it is.
Mhm.
So that means
4.1B.
if you have a house set in at 190 feet, they wouldn't have to pay any increased installation fee. But if
Well,
you use the
that's- right.
120, if you use the 125, they would have to.
Well, the license controls because the regulation says when they adopted that regulation, they had a report and order, and the companies honor this. It says that the regulation is a floor,
Not a
not a
ceiling.
ceiling. It says
Minimum
it-
standard, in other words.
Right.
Right.
Not every regulation is like that. This
Right.
one is. The consumer protection regulation is a floor. So, and it specifically says if there's something more restrictive or burdensome in the license, you go with the thing that the parties agreed to in the license. So we're okay. It'll be the 200. They honor the license standard installation
Okay.
distance, not the reg. But it's a good question, but
All right.
we're not going to have a conflict or a problem.
Good.
You
I'm-
could
I'm-
ask Mike to confirm that,
I will.
Or-
Yes.
but that's the way
Okay.
it works.
Gentlemen, that's the end of my list. Do we have any other questions that you want to raise about this license?
Well, I just want to get to the point where we can get a clean, when I say a clean copy, a copy of a document that we plan to submit to the selectmen that doesn't have any red lines
Right.
through it, no dates scratched out. I want a clean copy once these latest things are clarified with Mike, that we ask for a clean copy with these things in it, with no notes in the margin, no nothing. Just
Ask
the
him
way
for
we're gonna
both.
submit it.
Ask him for one with just the new track changes and another that's totally clean. Get both.
Exactly, yeah. Because it's a lot better, it's a lot more
No,
easily.
you don't want to
understood.
show the selectmen track changes. That just makes them wonder and ask more questions.
And it
Get a
actually
clean
makes me
one.
wonder too, when I read these things, my head starts spinning.
Right. You have to bug him to get a clean one. He'll come through with it. It just, you have to ask him 3 times.
Okay.
Thank you, Bill.
All right.
I just want to
I
say,
will-
Bob
Yeah.
cut down his list here. This went from the earlier lists. This
yeah.
one only has, we're down to like 4 items really, other
Yeah.
than clerical, 3 items other than clerical. So we are really in the end zone, we're getting close to the end zone.
Okay, all right. Tom, Walter, Jose, any other questions that you have about this license renewal proposal that we should address before we to assuming that these are acceptable, are we at the point where we want to make a recommendation to the Board of Selectmen?
Well, I don't
Yeah.
think we're at that point yet because we don't have a clean copy to look at.
All right, that's why I asked the question,
Is
Tom.
that right, Walter? What do you think?
I agree, but
Principal or whatever?
in principle, we do. Okay, we don't have the clean copy, but in principle, with all the things we just did, especially, Bob and Bill, we do. So
Then
if
we'd
Mike-
have to submit it twice. We give them what we think they're agreeing to, but we
Oh,
don't.
I'm
have
not
a
saying we
copy.
submit it yet.
I'm not submitting, no, I'm saying, in principle, we have an agreement, but we need to get the clean copy, like you said, Tom.
Right.
Yeah, but another reason we have to wait a little is we don't know what Gail is going to say about the copies of the maps. So if we recommend this and then we get a license without that,
Bill,
we're
you're
not-
missing the point. We're
We're
not
not
recommending anything yet.
right?
I
That's what I'm
want to get a
saying.
sense of the committee,
Yeah.
a sense of the committee.
Okay.
I
If
do have
we
a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Walter.
If, when you discuss this with Mike, find out if those maps
Yes,
are available through the internet. In other words, on Comcast site that
Right.
people can. Okay,
okay,
I
hold
mean,
on a
everything,
second. One moment. One moment.
Looks like you're gonna get out of here just in time, Bill.
Yeah. I'm okay. I'll be okay.
Okay,
No,
all
it's,
right, I've got that written down as a note, Walter, and I'll be sure to ask him.
yeah, I mean, everything else is online in around the world right now. I mean,
Yeah, I'm not sure that they would, if as Bill says, they're concerned about Verizon or any other cable company
Mhm.
seeing their information, I don't see that as something they'd put on it. But maybe they do. Then why would they want to give us
Why
a
would-
copy?
Yeah, where's the big deal? I mean,
Is the
seriously,
what?
where's the big? I don't understand the problem because Verizon, if they want the information, they can figure it out.
Well, maybe. All right, any other questions, gentlemen?
now I have a question. Walter, why do you have so many CDs? I'm very impressed.
No,
Are you
no,
like
no, no. What, no. Bill, if you want to know, call them on your own time.
All right.
All right, any other questions about the license?
Now,
All right,
when are
Bill,
you-
thank you very
when-
much.
when-
Oh, well, Walter?
When do you anticipate talking to Mike?
Well, I'm gonna call sometime today. When he gets back to me, I never know.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah.
All
right,
right,
Bill,
gents, I'll sign
Thank
off.
you. Thank you
All
very
right,
much,
have a good
Bill.
one, everybody. Take care. We're really close. We're really getting there. Okay,
Not
bye.
as close as I thought, but
See you.
okay.
We need to formally adjourn.
Well, we're not there yet. Almost, we're almost
I
there.
don't see the maps being a breaker here.
I don't either. But why wouldn't they be willing to give us a
If they just
copy?
say, if they just say it's company business, that they don't want to have something out in the public, even though it's in the town.
Well, they could swear us to secrecy,
That
make us
wouldn't-
sign in blood.
No, that's not gonna happen.
Well, we'll see.
I mean, if it's their policy for security purposes, then, oh, fine, as long as there's a way for us to access it, or a
Well,
townsperson.
I'm not sure that we do, Walter. That's the point.
Well, if someone
we'll
wants to
find
go
out.
some-
We'll
Yeah.
find out when I ask him,
Okay,
right?
yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
All right, so, gentlemen, assuming we get the right answers to every question we brought up today, and we're not gonna vote on this per se, so this is not a formal vote. I just need a sense of the committee. Assuming we get everything that we talked about, do we have a sense of the committee? Does anyone have a problem with sending this forward to the Board of Selectmen, if we have everything in
Well,
place.
let's just reverse that for a second.
Yep.
In all the things we've talked about today, is there any one thing that can prevent us from going forward?
Well,
If my-
hang on a
if-
second. I hadn't looked at it from that point of view. It's a good question, Walter. Table of contents, notes, cable maps. Jose, you looked over the technical language in 6.5 and you're okay with that, right?
Yes.
Bill says to leave the notes in at the bottom of 6.5 until we're done with negotiating all of the issues. The effective date of February 1 versus January 23rd, even though we're losing several $100s, I take it. It is an objection for me, but I don't know that I'd hold the whole license up for it. Let me correct that. I wouldn't hold it up. But it goes against my grain to give them $400 that we should have.
Well,
But
we
be
don't
that as-
know. We don't know that yet until you discuss it.
That's
with them.
right. You're right. Next item is the matching the figure of 100,000, not 50,000. That's got to be changed. I can't see, that's a typo. Item number 7 is a typo, removing the word in. Exhibit 7, that's all a regulation. And the license above speaks to 200 feet in section 4.1B. So that's got to go our way. So that's a good question, Walt. I'm glad you asked it. I don't see anything holding us up there.
Okay.
Anybody
I don't
else?
Okay, so then
Okay,
you got your answer.
yes, I do. Very good.
But I still would like to see a copy that reflects all the things.
Yes.
Yeah.
we
I've got-
agreed to.
I've got that in my notes,
Yeah.
Tom. And you heard Bill say that Mike doesn't like to give a non-track info copy out. I'll do my best.
All right,
At some point, we have to have a non-track change copy because that becomes the license.
exactly.
So, I mean, I don't see where he can object all that much.
And if we're all in agreement in all the things, there's no reason why he can't give us a clean copy.
I'm not saying that I need it before we sign the license.
Yeah,
I'm talking about once the license is agreed to and signed, then I think we have a right to know where the lines are in town.
oh, well, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah, well, I am, because I've gotten the phone calls
Oh, I know.
from subscribers who say they don't have this line or this company or that company.
And they're
There's one up
constantly
off a race
building,
course.
they're constantly putting in new subdivisions. Now there's another permit going in for 7 new units right up.
Right,
on
but we're
Bedford Street.
asking once a year.
Yeah.
I don't think that's too big an ask.
Mm.
No, that's
I
fine.
mean, okay. All right,
But it's
any
not-
other questions, gentlemen?
No.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
So
So
moved.
many.
Seconded.
Second,
Further discussion? Tom, your vote?
Yes, to adjourn.
Walter, your vote to adjourn?
yes.
Bob says yes. Jose, would you stick on for a minute while we, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Okay.
All I'm going to do.